Hey man, what it is, YouTube, man? It's your boy TJ back with another video. We got this one mistake changed the NFL forever, man. Let's check it out.
He's rolling.
So, this is John Lynch. You
John
may
Lynch,
recognize
man.
him. Currently, he's the GM for the San
That's
Francisco.
what John Lynch been. John Lynch really be hitting. That safety, John Lynch was a problem, boy.
49ers. But before all his GM glory, he was a player. A very good player at that.
We're the best secondary in this house. We're the best team in this house. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win.
As a safety, his playing style was characterized by his intelligence on the field and his leadership qualities, both of which contributed significantly to the success of the teams he played for. Most of his career being with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he won a Super Bowl.
Buccaneers win. Buccaneers win. Buccaneers win in San Diego. The Lombardi Trophy resides in Tampa, Florida. How about them Buccaneers?
Then eventually moving on to Denver to play for the Broncos in 2004.
I'd like to say that I'll always be a Buccaneer. You know, I'll be playing someplace else next year, and I look forward to that, but I'll always be a Buccaneer.
After a year under Coach Mike Shanahan's system, Lynch would start to become a key figure on the Broncos defense. The team, with a previous record of 10-6 the year before, was a powerhouse with playoff aspirations, and Lynch's leadership was instrumental in the playoff push.
You guys are trying to kill me. I tell you what, you guys fought. We lost a little bit right there at the end, but you managed to come back and stay in there and fight your ass off. That's what it's all about.
So, the stage was set for another playoff berth with their record at 12-3 with the final game of the season against their division rivals, the San Diego Chargers, led by head coach Marty Schottenheimer and their star quarterback, Drew Brees.
Are you still kind of pinching yourself that you're actually a professional football player?
Yeah, I do.
Drew Brees, man. I'm saying, why we don't talk about Drew Brees like he in the top 5 quarterback of all time? I feel like Drew Brees don't get talked about. Like, people don't really talk about Drew Brees. Drew Brees one of them ones, bro. Like, I really feel like we need Drew Brees. I really feel like we need to start talking about Drew Brees more. I feel like he don't get appreciated enough, bro. Drew Brees was the top 5 QB of all time, bro. Drew Brees was nice, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We could have had him, bro, when we had Saban. We could have had Saban, but we took Bledsoe over this nigga, bro. Like, and he came out to be one of the best QBs in the league for a long time, bro. So it's like, damn, but that's the Dolphins for you, man. I mean, shit.
Because this is my
You had a
ultimate
chance to
goal
get
when I
this
was a
nigga,
kid.
man.
You know, you'll think, oh, this is crazy, but I wanted to be the only man to play professional football, baseball, and basketball.
At the time, Drew was a rising QB in the league. However, he was on a one-year prove-it deal. 2 years prior, the Chargers were tied for the worst record in the league, where Brees struggled and was ultimately replaced by Doug Flutie mid-season. However, with his starting job on the line and the franchise drafting his potential replacement in Phillip Rivers, Drew would have a breakout 2004 season and get his first Pro Bowl selection, as well as NFL Comeback Player of the Year. So, with just another okay season at 9-6 the following year, and the Chargers already eliminated from making the playoffs, Drew needed a win in this last game against the Broncos to solidify his new contract and his position as the starting quarterback for the Chargers. But unfortunately, John Lynch had other plans.
John Lynch knocked it out.
Oh, man. Damn.
John Lynch.
And the
knocked
nigga
it
stepped
out.
his cleats on his own.
I think Drew Brees got hurt on that play going for that fumble. He has been hit a lot this year from behind. It's the blitz from the outside. John Lynch, unblocked, caught the offense by surprise. And when you try to recover a fumble in this league, there are a lot of bodies flying after it.
Whole bunch of
And
helmets,
just that
diving, all
quick,
type
he
of
was
shit.
done. In an ultimately meaningless game,
Niggas go crazy for that football, but that football on the ground, boy. I'm about to die, man. Boy, you better be careful, boy.
Drew suffered a torn labrum and damage to his rotator cuff, in addition to dislocating his shoulder.
Damn.
The injury to Brees would require surgery during the offseason and ultimately would have a longer recovery period than initially anticipated. According to his doctors, he would only have a 25% chance of ever playing football again.
As much as I wanted to believe in my heart, you know, that I was going to come back and I was going to come back stronger. I mean, that was my mindset and my, you know, everything in my being was saying that. Still, there was reality. I hope I can come back and do this.
It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. The Chargers still would offer Drew a contract, but there was a catch. It was incentive-based and had little to no guaranteed money. Drew would take the contract as an insult and decide to test free agency for the first time ever in his career. But Drew would need a team to believe not only in his action, but that he would ultimately make a full recovery. Unfortunately, it was crickets. A handful of teams were interested early on, but in the end, only 2 teams showed serious interest: New Orleans and Miami. With newly hired head coach Sean Payton, the Saints were looking for a new franchise quarterback to bring life to not only a team that had gone 3-13 the previous season, but to a city that had just gone through Katrina, one of the worst hurricanes to ever hit Louisiana.
This is a Fox News alert. Officials in New Orleans are bracing for the worst, bracing for a direct hit, which is just hours away. The Category 5 Hurricane Katrina is just hours from slamming the Louisiana coast, a first ever in history, a direct hit in Louisiana. Hundreds of thousands of people evacuating all weekend long out of that city that lies 12 feet below sea level. Forecasters say the conditions have to be absolutely perfect
look at that field, bro.
Have a hurricane become this strong and intense.
On the flip side,
Absolutely perfect to have a hurricane become this strong and intense.
On the flip side, Miami, with a second-year coach, Nick Saban, that had just finished the previous season with a respectable 9-7 record, was reportedly very interested in Brees, seeing him as a potential game changer for the team. It was widely known that Saban wanted Drew and would do anything to get him. And the feeling was mutual.
Really, the 2 teams that came calling were the Miami Dolphins
man, Jason Taylor,
the New Orleans Saints. And I think just on the surface, before visiting either team, before meeting with either coach, on the surface, Miami seemed like the obvious choice, right? They were an up-and-coming team. Nick Saban, super talented head coach, handled the defensive side of the ball. I was familiar with a couple of their offensive staff. They were running the exact same offense that we were running in San Diego, which I liked. And then
who don't want to come to Miami, bro?
Days. Get caught in trap.
Better team, better city, better girl. You feel what I'm saying? Like, who don't want to come to Miami? Better food than New Orleans? Come on, man.
You're going to Miami, right? On the surface, it was like, all right, well, Miami's the obvious choice.
However, the front office had serious concerns with Drew's injury and wasn't as sold on the idea as much as Saban was. They would believe that the better option at the time was to trade for Vikings quarterback.
Oh, my fault. I said Bless. I mean Culpepper, bro. Come on, man.
Say Culpepper. But despite those concerns, Saban would get his way, and Miami would start the process of signing Drew Brees. But first, he had to pass the team physical.
We were going to sign Drew Brees as a free agent or trade for Dante Culpepper, and both guys had been operated on in Birmingham by Dr. Andrews and Dr. King. And he actually said Drew Brees would be fine. Then our doctors in Miami didn't see it that way.
Man, them doctors screwed it up, man. We could have had Drew Brees, man. Damn, man.
We had the deal done.
Despite what was told to Saban, Brees would fail his physical and ultimately not get a chance to sign with Miami. They would later go on to trade for Dante Culpepper instead. This one decision, and in hindsight, this one mistake, would have a ripple effect that would go on to change the course of not only the NFL, but the entire sport of football forever.
So I was 2 months post-op on an injury that was supposed to be an 8-month injury. So for somebody to say, we're going to fail you on your physical, I mean, obviously I wasn't in a position at the time where I could move my arm very well. I mean, I could barely lift my shoulder up, to the kind of shoulder level, right? So I knew I was going to have to sell myself, right? And all those things to whoever it was that was coming after me. And it was then just their job to believe that.
Side note, there are reports that Saban had the final decision between Brees and Culpepper and played a large part in signing Culpepper over Brees. Thus, with making the wrong decision, he's been spending the last decade changing the narrative. But who knows? But what I do know is Drew would ultimately sign a 6-year, $60 million contract with the New Orleans Saints, including an $8 million signing bonus and $20 million of that $60 million guaranteed.
Emma wrote me a little note that said if I became New Orleans Saint,
Damn,
he
Saban, man.
cooked my first meal here. So Emerald, if you're watching, listening, I'll be expecting that here pretty soon.
It was a gamble, but it was one
And
that
I heard you left us too, bro. Like you could have got one of the best QBs at the time, man. And you left us, bro, with Culpepper. Come on, man.
had to take. The Saints needed a familiar name as the marquee for ticket sales, since they would be returning to New Orleans that season due to relocating the previous year for Katrina. But for the Saints fans, or even the NFL world in general, I don't think they saw this coming.
Damn, boy, I miss football, boy.
On the other hand, according to most sources, Saban feeling a lack of trust from the Dolphins front office would coach his last season in the NFL, stating it was no longer fun. He would eventually go back to college, where a head coaching job at Alabama would recently open up. And yeah, we kind of all know what happens after that.
And Saban steps past Paul Bryant with his 7th national championship. The all-time leader now in college football national championships. He'll savor it for about an hour and then think about
Saban, one of the best college coaches ever, though. He one of the best coaches to do it, bro. In the league, he wasn't that good, bro. But in college, man, was nice. But it's just crazy though that, man, damn, Saban, bro. You could have at least left that with Drew Brees, bro. But it is what it is, bro. Damn.
And this is what I like to call the butterfly effect. A concept where one small, seemingly insignificant event can have massive, far-reaching consequences. If John Lynch never makes that play, Drew never gets that injury. I think he still was going to become a free agent regardless, simply based on the fact they drafted his replacement in Rivers.
That's crazy, though. Imagine you thinking your position gonna get to, you broke your arm, you got 25% chance of coming back, you don't know what team's gonna sign you in free agency, and then you come to be one of the best top 5 quarterbacks of all time, a Hall of Famer. Damn, that's crazy, bro. Anything could just happen in a snap of finger, man. That's what I'm saying. Never give up, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
But he would have passed the Miami physical and became the new franchise quarterback of the Dolphins, led by Nick Saban.
Look
and
at
with
this shit, man. Like, damn, man. Like, why, bro? Why, bro? But it's the, man, we always make stupid decisions, bro.
His new marquee.
I know this was a long time ago, but this is making me mad right now, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Peace. He probably never leaves the NFL to go back and coach college to become arguably the greatest college coach of all time. Miami probably goes on to win at least 1 Super Bowl. And in that division, I'm not sure the Patriots become a dynasty, having to face a Nick Saban, Drew Brees led.
Imagine, bro, Tom Brady and Drew Brees in the same division, bro. That would have been the best division in football. Tom Brady and Drew Brees in the same division, bro. With Belichick and Saban. Come on, man. You can't. Dolphins did get the Patriots the most problems, but we would have definitely get y'all problems if we had Drew Brees, bro. I'm telling y'all. And Saban would have stayed if I feel like we'd have had Drew Brees. He would have stayed longer, bro.
Miami team twice a year. And what about the Saints? Well, they probably continue their quarterback search. However, it would have been highly unlikely to get a top free agent quarterback with options to go to a franchise who at the time was relocating and in talks of moving out of New Orleans permanently. So, they probably would rely on the draft, and instead of drafting Reggie Bush that year, they'd probably go with the #1 rated quarterback coming fresh off a national title. If you ever run into John Lynch, tell him thanks, because without him, you never received those years of success and dominance. Also, with all that happened with Drew and the Dolphins, ironically, Brees did ultimately win a Super Bowl in Miami.
Damn.
Till next time.
Man, dog, it only happened to us, bro. Like, damn, man. And he won the Super Bowl in Miami. Damn, bro. And I think he beat Miami, too. God damn, man. Damn, man. We could have had Drew Brees, man. But it is what it is, man. It's your boy TJ out. Gang.